Hello everyone, here's our latest video update on Typhoon Vongfong on this Friday afternoon, October 10th, 2014, and again we're continuing to watch this powerful typhoon move ever closer to the southern Japanese islands, expecting those stormy conditions to begin as early as this evening. Now, Typhoon Vongfong, locally known as Bagyong Ompong in the Philippines, was last located approximately 500 kilometers south-southeast of the island of Okinawa, or about 770 kilometers east-northeast of Basco, Batanes. Maximum sustained winds, according to Japan Meteorological Agency, have decreased slightly to 185 kilometers per hour with gusts of up to 260 kilometers per hour. The Joint Typhoon Warning Center likewise have lowered their wind estimates for Vongfong, now down to 230 kilometers per hour with gusts of up to 280 kilometers per hour. So no longer a super typhoon as per JTWC's standards. However, it remains a strong and powerful Category 4 typhoon in the Saffir-Simpson scale. Now, Vongfong, as we forecast from yesterday, is now moving northward at a speed of about 15 kilometers per hour. And again, as you can see in this latest visible satellite imagery system, moving ever closer now to the southern Japanese islands. Actually starting to see those cirrus clouds from the typhoon move ever northward. And looking at the latest infrared satellite image, you can see the eye still remains intact. However, convective activity, especially to the north, has become much more fragmented, and the eye itself has actually shrunk and become more rugged over the past 24 hours. Vongfong is actually undergoing an eye wall replacement cycle, with the inner core starting to weaken, and an outer core looks like it's beginning to actually take over. And in fact, you can see here convective activity along the southern periphery has actually increased over the past 6 hours. Nevertheless, Vongfong is actually on a weakening trend and will continue to do so, but very slowly. So as it approaches the Ryukyu Islands, we expect Vongfong to remain a powerful Category 3 typhoon around Saturday night and into Sunday morning. Looking at the latest observations across the islands, we are starting to see an increase in wind speeds from the northeast. Again, you can, the circulation of the storm, the counterclockwise circulation, already bringing in wind speeds of up to 60 to as much as 80 kilometers per hour across the islands. And again, we expect those wind speeds to just continue increasing over the next few hours. Conditions will deteriorate. Tropical storm force conditions are expected to begin around Friday evening, that's tonight, and will last into Sunday. The worst conditions are likely to occur between Saturday evening and into Sunday morning local time. Expect wind speeds of as high as 180 kilometers per hour, especially along the exposed areas. And here we have the latest radar image out of Okinawa, already starting to pick up the outer rain bands associated with Vongfong. As with the strong winds, we expect those light to moderate rains to eventually affect the islands beginning this evening, and again will continue over the next 24 to 36 hours. The trend this morning is that the consensus has once again become much more consolidated, which is good for forecasting. Unfortunately, the consensus is taking Vongfong very close to the island of Okinawa by Saturday evening and into Sunday morning. In fact, you can see the Joint Typhoon Warning Center's forecast track here. Their short-range forecast taking Vongfong again just east of the island of Okinawa. This is October 11th, 12 Zulu, which translates to Saturday evening around 9 p.m. Japan time. And again, as of this track forecast, typhoon force conditions are likely, especially along the northern part of the island. Especially, again, Okinawa, Amami, Oshima will also be under the threat for some very strong typhoon force conditions, as well as the smaller nearby islands in the region. Likewise, the Japan Meteorological Agency has also shifted their track westward and putting Vongfong very, very close now to the island of Okinawa. Remember, yesterday they were forecasting this typhoon to move east of the islands, have shifted their track westward now and actually taking the eye of Vongfong right across the island of Amami. So very important developments happening this morning, and if you are living in these areas, we hope that you are finalizing and at least finishing your preparations for this incoming typhoon. Now looking far ahead, going back to the Joint Typhoon Warning Center's forecast, after the Ryukyu Islands, Vongfong is forecast to eventually turn to the northeast around the subtropical ridge and eventually impact mainland Japan, moving first into the island of Kyushu by Sunday morning and into Monday, and again moving into the islands of Shikoku and eventually into Honshu, weakening to a tropical storm around Monday morning and moving very near the cities of Osaka and Nagoya around that time frame. It will also start transitioning to an extratropical cyclone during those time frame. But even though the system will be weakening at that point, the threat of widespread heavy rains and strong winds will still persist throughout much of Japan. And here we have JMA's forecast track, and pretty similar now to with the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, expecting Vongfong to move northeastward eventually after moving through the Ryukyu Islands, moving across the southern tip of Kyushu, passing near the island of Shikoku, and eventually moving into Honshu as you move into Monday and into Tuesday. Also JMA showing the track here very close to the city of Osaka and also Nagoya, expecting Vongfong to move north of Tokyo. However, again, the entire region will likely be under the threat of widespread heavy rains around that time. But that concludes our video update for this afternoon. Again, as we have been saying, please heed the warnings of your local officials, especially if you live in the Ryukyu Islands, especially in exposed and low-lying areas. If you can, seek shelter now and again finalize your preparations. We can't stress enough the power of this typhoon, and we've been focusing on the wind speeds, but other threats such as heavy rain and definitely high waves, as they can be deadly, as we've seen with Typhoon Fanfan a week and a half ago. So if you live along the coast and along the shores, please try to make the effort to move away. And again, during the height of the typhoon, we urge everyone to please stay indoors and do not go outside until the weather clears, which probably won't happen until Sunday afternoon. We expect this to be a long duration storm. Again, the worst conditions likely to occur from Saturday afternoon, lasting into Sunday early Sunday morning. Wind speeds of up to 180 kilometers per hour, likely around that time frame. But that concludes again our video update. Please check out our westernpacificweather.com and also our blog. Meteorologist Robert Speta will be having his live webcast throughout the weekend to give timely updates on this storm. Stay safe, guys, and see you in our next update. Bye-bye.